you for the introduction. Right. Once again, I'm happy to be here, and we are going to have a good time together. So while I'm showing you guys anything, while I'm explaining anything, if you have any question, just like write it down, just keep it. At the end of the session, you would have the chance to ask me questions, right? So that I can answer all of them all at once. Um, okay. So Victory said I was going to show you guys how to, how to basically run an not just ads, how to run e-commerce, how to run an e-commerce business. And of course, we're going to dive deep a little bit into the ads aspect because it's one of the most important part of e-commerce. So there are three parts of e-commerce that would allow you to either be successful or not. All right. The product, the offer, and the ads. So those are the three parts of e-commerce that would allow you to either be successful or not. Of course, on the front end, the other parts that you might think are involved, which is delivery, logistics, that is just a low quality problem that we have in Nigeria. It's not really, it's not part of the big fish. It's not part of a big, it's a big problem, but it's not supposed to be a problem. So it's just a low quality problem. Low quality problems are, problems that you should not be facing in the first place, but you face them either because of your circumstance, your environment. In this case, our environment. So anything I'm going to be sharing with you guys is going to be universal. So I want it to be as universal as possible. So you can apply it not just in Nigeria, you can apply it in outside of Nigeria. For example, my e-commerce business runs in 3 countries currently, right? So that includes Nigeria anyways. So what am I saying in essence? The problems, the 3 things you need to be successful at e-commerce at e-commerce is your product, your offer, and lastly, the ads, right? Your product, your offer, and the ads. So we are going to start from the top, and we are going to gradually grow to the last bit of the session, to the last bit of what I have for you guys today. So I think I wrote some things down. So I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to be teaching in 3 ways tonight. I'm going to be sharing a slide. I'm going to be using a whiteboard, and I'm also going to be using case studies and demonstrations, right? So those are the 3 things I'm going to be sharing with you. So if you want to take up your pen, just feel free to do that while I get into it. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now. Once my screen is visible, please let me know you can see my screen so that I continue. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So e-commerce. Let's just put it like e-commerce. All right. So like I said, I have about 5 things they're about to share with you guys tonight. The first thing is how to get results with your e-commerce ads. The second thing is how to price your product, how pricing affects your ads. I'm going to talk about targeting and retargeting, and I'm going to talk about how to come up with marketing angles to sell your e-commerce products and anything in between that I might want to share with you. So let's start with getting results. All right, getting results. So getting results with your e-commerce business. Like I said, there are 3 things you need to take note of for you to be able to get results. I don't know how to open Google Meet to, so once I get an alert, I'm going to just accept the person and we continue. I think I'm sharing the wrong slide. So getting results with your e-commerce business. I said it involves 3 things. All right. Getting results with your e-commerce business as a whole involves you having a good product. The second part is you having a good offer. Then the third part is you running a good ad, right? Now we are going to break this down into the third bit. Now we talked about having a good ad, having a good offer, right? So now for you to be able to get results with your ads itself. So I believe everybody here, I'm not going to teach you how to get good products, obviously, but I believe you are going to be selling good products. So what I'm going to focus on is how you can create good offers and how you can create good ads. So those are the two things I'm going to be putting a little bit of focus on for tonight's training. So good offer, right? For you to be able to get good results with your e-commerce business, we said you need a good offer, right? So now, what are the components of a good offer for the e-commerce, e-commerce business? There are two things you need to pay attention to when you are creating your good offer in quotes in e-commerce: pricing and problems. Pricing in the sense that, of course, pricing is something you understand easily. How much do you price your product in such a way that um, you don't price yourself too high or price yourself too low? How do you price yourself, right? Then the second thing is problem. What problem is your product solving? So it's like the two P's. I call it the two P's, right? I call it the two P's. So you can get clever with me. I call it the two P's: pricing and problem. All right. So now let's assume, let me enlarge this so that it doesn't disrupt. Beautiful. Okay, let's assume that you are selling a product that, let me find the best example. What can I see right here, right now? Okay, so I'm seeing my AC. So let me use something else. Now there's this fan. I'm going to show you guys. My GG is not opened. I was searching for it since yesterday. So there's this fan. It's called the rechargeable mist fan. Rechargeable mist fan. So let me show you guys. Rechargeable mist fan. I was searching for it on GG yesterday, right? Awesome. Awesome. Beautiful. So this is the fan, rechargeable mist fan. So I said I was going to talk about the two P's of creating a good offer, right? And I was going to use a real life example. So please pay attention. Now I will start from the problem, right? Instead of the pricing. So we'll go from problem to pricing. So I'm looking at this rechargeable mist fan. It's 18 inches. And of course, the fan serves like a coolant. It cools the air like an AC would usually do, right? It cools the air like an AC would usually do. You can charge it and it has over 15 hours battery life. It can last you for over 15 hours. It has a water tank. Of course, that's where I don't know how the AC works, but you guys know if an AC revolver, the one that is usually outside, is working, it usually dispenses water, right? I don't know where that is coming from. I don't know the science, but so this one, you put the water in like manually. So it has a water tank and it has some other key components. But the main feature or the main problem that this thing solves is not the USB, is not the water, whatever. The main problem that it solves is that it cools the air, right? It cools the air. It makes the air very, very, very cool. It doesn't work like just a random fan. So the problem it solves is that it makes your house, it makes your environment very cool. Now, that is the problem it solves. Now, you now relate it to the AC, the normal AC that we are used to. Now, if you want to buy an AC now, which does the same thing, depending on the size of your apartment, of your room, that determines the kind of AC you buy. So if you put these products together now, and you are trying to create an offer around this product, in contrast to, I will talk to you guys about comparison later on. One of the best ways to win with e-commerce ads is for you to be able to do a lot of comparison, because e-commerce, I figured out that most marketers, when they come into the e-commerce space, they think like they are selling digital products. Price is very, very, very important here. That's one. Two, people have options. Now, I know you might be selling an hot product. You might be selling an hot product. For example, I will mention a product. Let's say there's this man, Mr. Samuel Amocham, is selling a product called the malaria knockout. Now, the product is supposed to treat malaria, right? So why can't I just go to the nearest pharmacy and buy what's the name of that malaria drug? Artemether, lumefantrine. Why can't I just go to the nearest pharmacy and buy Artemether? I will not go. I will see his ad and buy. People are seeing his ad and buying because of the fact that he was able to do a clear comparison with the usual drug that people are used to and stand his own product at above the usual drug that people are used to. So I'm going to say it again. You are not running an ad to sell a physical product, a digital product. You are selling a physical product that is tangible. The people you are selling to, they have options. What your product is trying to do, trust me, there are products that they are seeing that can do it. If you are trying to sell, anything you can think of, or let me not say anything, let me say most things you can think of, they have an alternative. So a good e-commerce person that is running okay, another disruption. Sorry, guys. I think it's good that there are not a lot of persons here anyways. All right, so what was I saying? Every good e-commerce ad, or every good e-commerce, someone that is running e-commerce ad, you must be able to do comparison because you are pitching yourself against. So if I'm running an ad, if I'm trying to create an offer to sell this fan, I'm going to be pitching it against an AC. For example, in my space right now, I could say that for me to be able to get an AC that will fill up this space that I am right now from where I'm doing this call, I would have to get a 2 horsepower AC. And 2 horsepower AC is over 699,000, they're about close to 700,000, right? But you can get this coolant and it will do the same thing and you will get it at lesser price. If I bring that coolant, I can put it like just a few inches away from me and it will circulate around this like place that I am currently seated. But the AC is not really circulating around because the AC also has other places within this room that it is circulating to. That is one way to pit this against the AC. And then one way it is now winning it is the pricing. The pricing. So this is considerably cheaper than even a 1 horsepower AC. So you talk about the problem it solves. It's looking like it's solving a bigger problem. But let's be real. The thing is that the AC is better than this fan. Let's be real. But it's looking like it's solving a bigger problem, and then it's doing that at a cheaper price. 100 and there's 150,000. So these are different vendors, anyways. These are different vendors. So one thing you have to, if you are very familiar with e-commerce, you will know this already. These are different vendors, and if I'm trying to get this product from Gigi, I assure you I can get it for around 120,000. The same product that you are seeing 150,000 thereabout, I will get it on this Gigi at 120,000 or even less. I don't know. I've not tried to get it. I think I will soon, but that is exactly what I'm telling you. So these are different vendors. So probably the usual price is 150K. Let's just say 150K. So the price of the product is 150,000. You are comparing it to a product of about 500,000, and it is solving the same problem. And you are now putting this product, the mist fan, in a better light that it can even solve the problem better than an AC would, because this one, you can move it around. That's another thing. You can move this one around. I can take it to my room. I can take it to my workspace. I can bring it to the sitting room. I can take it to the kitchen if I want. I can take it to the bathroom if I want. So what I'm saying in essence is that you look at the loopholes of what you are comparing it to, rather, and then you bring the loopholes, you cover the loopholes with your new product, right? So that is us. That is within us creating a good offer, because we are highlighting the problems that this product is solving. right? We are highlighting the problems that this product is solving by comparing it with a similar product. Now, there are different ways to highlight a problem. I just mentioned one of the, which is comparison. You could also use, you may not need to compare. You could also just use direct problems. Like you could look for a problem it solves directly and just talk about it without comparing it to any product. That also works, right? But I just used one way to highlight a few problems, and I've been able to highlight 2 or 3 things that we can use to create our offer. And then once we are done with that, pricing. So I've seen most people run e-commerce ads. Sorry, please. Let me take some water. Sorry. So I've seen most people run e-commerce ad, and let's say they are selling a product that they can sell. So you can sell, you know that this product you can sell as much as 2, right? So they will price 1, they can price it 20K, then they will price 2, they will price that 35K. That's a very wrong price. Well, that's what you are used to. That's what most gurus did in the time past. But right now, it doesn't work. All right. So if you are an e-commerce person, you will agree with me that the higher your purchase value, the more money you can make. Because one, ad costs are rising. That one is on back. Though we are here to talk about how we can lower our ad costs, which we will get to in a short while. But regardless or nevertheless, ad costs are rising. So if you are not smart to create pricing system or structures that helps you sell your product and increases the order value of your product, then you are making a mistake. And you will not increase the order value of your product by pricing it. Let's say the first price is 20K, then the next price is 35K. No, to not work. Or some will even go ahead and put 40K or 39K. How do you price your product? How do you price your e-commerce product? Okay, we have one person again. Well, welcome to the person that joined. All right, so how do you price your product? How do you price? All right, let's talk about pricing. How do you price your product? How do you price your product? Now, you price your product considering several factors. The first of those factors is ad. What is the ad cost? Let me not go too much into it. What is the ad cost? Like how much am I looking to spend on ads? Product. How much am I getting this product? Logistics. How much does it cost me to move this product around to deliver the product? Right? That's the third thing. Then the fourth thing is how much profit am I looking to make from this product? That's one of the ways to price your product, right? So now, once you've considered all these factors, you are familiar with the ads. All right, let's say you are running an ad in Nigeria. You know what the usual ad cost is. Let's say you are running an ad in Ghana. You know what the usual ad cost is. Let's say you are running an ad in the United States. You know what the ad cost is. Within you know, like, it's not rocket science. There is an average for what you should be expecting. For example, if I'm running a normal lead generation ad in Nigeria, right, I can say that I'm expecting a lead at between 100 naira to 300 naira, right? I'm expecting a lead between 100 naira to 300 naira. That is my ad cost. How much does it cost you to get your product? Well, you know that. How much does it cost you to move your product around? Well, you know that. How much do you want to make? That one is left to you. But for me, I don't think I should be making anything less than 10,000 naira or 15,000 naira for low budget products. Low budget products means products that are cheap. So if I'm selling a high-end product, it's of course way more expensive than in terms of what the profit I will be envisaging for myself. Anyways, I'm not going to go deep into that. Now, this is the price of one product. If you are trying to sell 2, right? if you are trying to sell 2, try and understand this. You don't just do this thing times 2. Let's say add is 2,000. Let's say add is 2,000. All right. Let's say we are assuming. Let's say your product is 5K. Let's say logistics is let's say 10K. You know, we are just assuming. These are just assumptions. Let's say you want to make 10K profit. This will give you roughly 27K, right? 27,000. You don't just go and put 27 times 2 if you want to sell 2. You don't just say 27 times 2. That's if you want to sell 2. It's a no, right? It's a no. Shift. No, you don't do that. So what do you do instead? What do you do instead? When you want to try to price your product, when you are creating multiple stacks of what people can get, because your product can get people to order more than one, what you want to do is that you want to add the product. Of course, you are paying for 2 products. Add the product. All right, add the product cost. That will make 32,000. Right, that is your product is 5K. Then add 50% of the profit. That is 5K. So that will be extra. That will be extra 37K. If you add 15 to, sorry, if you add the product 5K, that will be 32. If you add another 5K, that will be 37. So 10K. So that will be 37K, not 54,000. Because when you do that 54,000, if your product is reusable, right? If your product is reusable, what you will get, and what most people do not realize, is that they may buy the first one from you, but they will never come back to buy from you again. Even if your product works, they may, that keyword there is may. But if you do this pricing technique and then you have 50% of your profit, that is what, because logistics is still the same thing, whether you are moving 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 1. The product, the ad is still the same thing, whether somebody is buying 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. So what you want to do is add just 50% of the profit. That way, what most people will pick is either this or the other stack, depending on how much they need the product. If the product is something that they need like 4 or 5, or they will order more. How did I know this? The product I'm selling, out of every 100 orders, at least 97 is buying minimum of 2 to 3. In fact, I will say 3. The product, in fact, not the product, the products, put S. The product I'm selling, I've been able to create a system that the average order value is not somebody, in fact, it's not 1. It's not 1. So, but most people do not price this, they don't price right. So it's hard for them to get people to order more than 1. So that's how you create a good pricing for your offer, right? Now, one of the other ways to create a good offer within the same structure is that you add a complementary product. This one is not, I believe you've had it over and over and over and over again. You sell a complementary product, you add a complementary product. If you are selling should we use the mist fan as an example? What complementary product will come with it? You think of it, that's your job as a marketer now, right? So if I want to think of it, sometimes it takes me time anyways, because I have to look at possible scenarios, right? I can't really think of right now on this call. But when you're creating, you can add a complementary product that does not cost a lot. Keyword does not cost a lot. Then you add it to it. Then, Nigerians like free things. You just put it there, plus free. If you buy this thing, you are getting a free this, right? If you buy this phone, you are getting a free charger, something like that. They would buy it because of that free thing that you are giving them. So those are the 2 things you want to consider when you are creating your good offer in quote for your e-commerce, before you run your ads, because it's important, right? And I've just highlighted that you put your ad cost when creating your price too. Then the next thing is for you to get, you need a good landing page. This one is not, I won't go deep into it because I don't even do it for my own business. I always contract it out. But of course, you need a good landing page, because you need a good, if you have created your offer, the landing page is actually easy to create. All right. Somebody will just put one or two together and then you are done. Boom. Then you, of course, you keep checking the conversion rate, which we'll get to in a short while, of your landing page as well. So you need a good landing page. Your landing page should contain the product benefits. Those are the things that must be there. Product benefits, your offer, which includes your price, and of course, and the other things, demonstration, product demo. All right. Also, a video or picture, product demo. Yeah, it should be on your landing page. Of course, a good headline. Those ones are non-negotiable. And what else is important? These are like basically the most important part of a landing page. Like I said, that's not really my thing, but when you see a good landing page, you know one. Then the last thing, good ads, which is like one of the most important things that I will talk about. Good ads. You need a good ads. So how do you create good ads? We'll talk about it. All right. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about ads later on in this call. So now, just before I continue, I want to share something. If you have a bad product and you have a good offer, you would make average sales. Like bad product, let's say a product that is not really good enough, and you have a good offer, you make average sales. If you have a good product and a bad offer, you make average sales. So you need a good product and a good offer. If you have a bad product and a bad offer, of course, zero sales. You would burn money, right? I once did that with a product, very stupid product, and my offer was also as equally as terrible. That was when I started. And of course, I lost money, right? So you want to make sure, sometimes you wouldn't really know if a product is bad anyways until you try. But you have the signs. The signs are like you would know that you would see that the product either it doesn't really solve a major problem, or it doesn't have a product market fit. Like people just don't want it, right? People just don't want it. For example, there's a product that I don't know if you guys know. There's a guy called Mr. Stack, right? I've been following him for a while. He has one product that I showcased. It's like a throw pillow. The thing looks like a, you know how Muslims do their this in turban, right? I don't think that product can sell in Nigeria here because it just doesn't make sense, right? Or you want to sell a product that there's this product someone wants, you wanted to sell it to the US. I helped him to create the ads. That was in 2021 or so. I didn't even know what I was doing then. And it was a product to sell where cats used to poo, right? Where cats will poo, or dogs, your kittens, and all of that. And the product will sell in the US. But let's be realistic. How many people will buy it in Nigeria? I know there are some few people that would, buy it, but it's not as if the product is high ticket that you can afford to sell to a few people. It just doesn't make any sense. Any product that is not high ticket and the average Nigerian cannot relate with it, it's a waste of a product. Yes. Except it's high ticket. We have another joinee. Anyways. All right. Except the product is high ticket. Yeah, you can afford to play around. But if a product is not high ticket, and high ticket, by high ticket, I mean the product should be costing at least 500,000, 300K, 400K. That's even still small money, but at least that's still high ticket. Small money in the, of course, global level, global scale, but it's we wouldn't class, for example, we wouldn't class air condition AC as iTicket, right? A busy iTicket. It's a what's it called? It's a product that is not iTicket. It's just there. But the truth of the matter is a small business. So all these things I'm saying it from the point of a small business, right? You are here to make money. You cannot compare yourself to Fuani store that we are buying this AC from. Fuani store, they are big, right? They don't even need to do a lot of like if I want to buy all my appliances, my fridge, my ACs, everything, I get it from Fuani store, my every single thing, because I know Fuani store. In fact, like Fuani store is not a small business. Do you understand? So you are a small business. You cannot run a direct response market on air condition and expect to sell like clockwork. It's not going to work. It will not work. So you need a product there's something called product market fit, right? These tech guys use it a lot, but you can use it too. So if the product does not have, like Nigeria, you can't expect them to be buying that thing, that dog poo thing. It's not, and it's just 25K. They will not buy it. The few that will buy, even me, let's say I own a dog, maybe I might buy it, but how many people will buy it like me? That's the point. So you need a product that in Nigeria, right? If you want to sell it in Nigeria, you need a product that when it is low, right? You need a product that the average Nigerian can relate to that product and say, I want this. The average Nigerian can relate to that product. For example, the product I'm selling, the average Nigerian homes, the average Nigerian home, even the people that you may see that they don't have money, the kind of house they live in, they will need that product because it solves a major problem. It solves a major problem. So they need that product. It's something that the first time I heard of it, I'm like, nah, I need this product, right? I need this product. So it felt like, even if I talk about the product to my mother will say, yeah. Can you eat? Sorry, for those that are not here, but this thing is good. It solves this problem. Wow, it's better than this one that we've been using. Yes, the average Nigerian, and it's not expensive. It's not very expensive that they have to break the bank to buy. So it's easy it's a product that has a good market fit. The average, even poor people, they want it, except they don't just have money to buy it. So because it solves a major problem. So that's the kind of product you want to sell. Product that the average Nigerian will. So if you want to sell product that has few people will buy, make sure it's expensive. So if that product is like 300K, then you can sell it. But at that point, it's basically, you make money, because even if you have few buyers, you have major profits, because you could be making as much as 80K profits from a single product if it's iTicket, or even more. So at that point, it's okay. So that's good products and good offer. It sells like water, right? Good product and good offer. It sells like water. So next thing I'm going to be talking about is hold on, guys. Ensuring profitability despite rising hard cost. I think I've talked about that in a way with pricing. So one of the things you have to look at as a business owner now, guys, just hold on, we'll get to the art, right? But I'm just doing the business part of the thing first. We'll get to the arts, that's for sure. So one of the things you want to look at is price your product. You want to price your product looking at the worst case scenario for art. What's the worst case scenario? Like, how much could it cost me to get a lead or get a purchase or get this or get that? Then once you look at the worst case scenario, you can begin pricing your products based on that. So that's how you ensure that you are profitable, right? And that's how most newbies, let me use the Nigerian market as an example. Let's say the average cost per purchase right now is about 1,000 for a good ad, right? 1,000. I have people getting it less, but I don't even care. But let's say I know some people as well that are getting it at 5 times 1,000, like 5,000 there, and they are making massive profits. I have some of them that are doing almost 50, 60 million in revenue monthly, right? 50, 60 million revenue monthly, and their cost per purchase is 5,000. You'll be wondering how they're making money. It's part of what I just told you, pricing and offer. They are not selling one like you, that you are looking for 1,000 naira per purchase. If you don't get 1,000 naira per purchase, you are dead. Some of you even be looking for 600 naira per purchase. That's not how to run a business. You are thinking like a marketer too much, right? So one of the things that has helped me in a way is that sometimes I take a step back and I don't think like a marketer like I used to again. And one of the reasons why that has happened is because I've taken some steps back. I don't really, I'm not as, I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not a good marketer. Trust me, I can sell anything, but I'm not, I see the business side more and more as well, right? Then I look at the marketing as well, because of course, marketing is what brings the customers. I have to be sharp, but the business side, pricing is one of the things I focus on, and my offer. In fact, I focus less on ads, right? The ads part of my business is something that I always make sure that, of course, when I'm starting, I do a lot of research, create plenty creatives, like 20, keep them, and then start working with them. And most times I get lazy to even create more, right? Because at that point, all I'm just thinking of is how to scale my ads and increase the average order of my product, right? And one thing I did mention again is that some products you might be selling more. Like some products are reusable products. Like I'm staring at a plantain chips bucket or whatever right in front of me. So that plantain chips now, I can go to the store and buy again. So if they are running ads and the product is like, and they are just breaking even to acquire me as a customer, if I go back to them next week, once this one finishes, they will make profit. And a small business can also think like that. Don't feel as though it's only a big business that can afford to do that. Small businesses can afford to do that, because if your product works, if you know they will like your product. But if you know you are selling a shitty product, don't even try it, right? And most people, they sell shitty products, and I want you guys to be different, because product is so important. Like, sell a good product, sell a product that works, sell a product that you can use yourself. Most e-commerce people, they can't use their products. Two of the products I sell, my best selling, they are in my house. They're in my house. I use them everywhere. So, if you can't use your own products, what's the point? Most people cannot use their own product, I promise you, especially the drug ones. Kidney issue. Anyways, sell a good product, please. If you are selling skincare product that does something in the skin, make sure it does it. If you are selling a hair growth business, make sure it grows the hair. Make sure they see signs. This thing is working. Oh. So they will buy more to keep growing the hair. If it's like to clear acne, they should be seeing signs that the acne is clearing up. Wow, I need more of this. You get? Or if it's if it's sorry guys, I got carried away a little bit. If it's a sexual product, make sure it solves the sexual promise it gives. Make sure if it's going to enlarge a man's private part, make sure they see signs. If not, they will not come back. By the way, I've sold those things. In fact, that was not when I was doing e-commerce. That was when I was just freestyling the internet. That was 2020 self, right? Because my brother was selling some very, very funny products. I still have some numbers saved on my phone that, I sent this product to them. They came back insulting me. The product did not work. But me, I didn't even know what I was doing back then. So I was just trying to make money. And of course, back then I couldn't grow the business. I didn't even see it as a business anyways. So because I was selling a very stupid thing. But right now I'm selling a product I'm invested in. I'm very careful. We are selling a product where every month, or at least 2 months, we call our customers, are you enjoying the product? One of the things we bank on one of our products is that we bank on the fact that they are buying more because the product is not a reusable product. So usually we tend to sell more and then we get referrals. So that's because we are selling a good product. They will buy more because the product is a product that they have to buy more than one. If it's good, they will buy more. We have people that will call back, hey, hello, we need more, we need XYZ here, and then they will buy more. And my friend says they like this. Hey, can you deliver to my friend? Okay, this is we have that. Do you understand? So sell a good product, guys. Sell a fucking good product. I've talked about pricing. Now I'm going to talk about ads and marketing angles. Beautiful. I'm going to talk about ads and marketing angles. All right, let's go to whiteboard. I said I was going to use whiteboard, what's it called? A Google slide, and I'm going to use demonstrations. So, ads. Like Victory said, most people here, you understand ads, right? You know what ads is. You can run ads. Ads for physical products is, what am I drawing? Pardon me, guys. I don't have my mouse here. I'm drawing with my hand, so pardon my errors in advance. So, what are you looking at when you are trying to run ads to sell physical products? Right? There are two things you look at. Of course, there are plenty of things, but two major things. One, demonstration, demo, right? I want to do some demonstration here. That's why I'm using a pen. I would have used this slide, but you guys will understand shortly. Use a demo ad. That's one. Demonstration. There's nothing bigger than, I met one of the, in fact, not one of the biggest copywriter that I know in Africa. Most copywriters that you know now, all of them emanated from him or some, like, you get what I mean? All of them look up to him. I had a 3 hours meetup with him in Lagos over lunch, and he told me something. He said, Toib, if you want to make $1 billion in revenue, if you want to make big money, like you really want to make big money, your ads has to be able to demonstrate what it does. That's like the biggest form of ads for physical product. Of course, maybe for digital product as well, but it's easier for physical product because it's tangible. They can see it. Demonstration. So any product that you are trying to sell, and if you look at most products, right? Most kit that sells products. So all these influencers on Instagram that they do video to sell products for people that sell, let's say, herbal drugs, whatever. It's usually demonstration. If it's a sexual product, they will bring somebody, they will bring a man and a woman, they will do a comedy skit that will bring the man that would it would last 1 million hours, right? If it's a product to cure backache, they will show somebody that has been working, that is bending her back, and then the product will cure the backache miraculously, right? If it's so whichever product it is, if you go on Art Library and you're looking for most products, most ads you will see are demo ads. Ads that demonstrate how to use a product and how the product actually works to get people the results they say they want. Demonstration. Copywriters used to say something, show me is better than you can tell me. When you show me, it's better than if you tell me. Show me, let me see it with my own eyes. Right? Show me, let me see it with my own eyes. And then the second one, UGC. Now, UGC can be a little bit, it can look like they also do demonstration ads there, but it's a little bit different, and I will explain the difference rather. Sorry. The difference is that for UGC ads, UGC ads can come from different angles. UGC ad can come from story. UGC ads can come from somebody just using a product. UGC ads can come from somebody explaining how a product works to somebody. UGC ad can come from somebody trying to solve a problem with that product. So if you've seen ads, I've seen an ad, right? I saw an ad. It was not really an ad, but it's an ad. Not really an ad. By what I mean by that is that the person, I didn't see it like sponsored, like the person was not running ads on it, but it was an ad because it was a promotion. Of course, when you see an ad, you know one. So I saw an ad from somebody. The guy is a comedian, right? I think I've forgotten that his name. He's not in Nigeria though. He's not in Nigerian as well. The ad was trying to advertise beer, and the way he structured the ad was in such a way that it was not looking like he was trying to sell beer. It was talking about a football match, and then boom, 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 boom. The thing just migrated to a beer, and it was so smooth and sleek. So one of the best ways to use UGC is to tell a story around the product. Tell a story around the product. So most UGC ads that you see nowadays, they will just record, let's say a lady, let's say it's a skincare product. They will just record a lady's skincare product. She will just carry one cream and be rubbing on her face, be rubbing on her body. What's the point? That's why you see those ads, they never perform. Because they have good aesthetics, they look fine, smooth, sleek. But what message are you passing across? That you are just rubbing cream? Even me, that I'm rubbing my Vaseline, my skin is still fine. So what are you saying with the cream that you are using? Tell a story about how the cream, how the product, how it helps somebody that was suffering from acne. Tell a story about how somebody like me that is reluctant to use those kind of creams. Tell a story about how when they started using cream, they were getting acne and eczema. Then they thought it was the cream. Tell a story of how they started using it better, and then it started working on their skin. Tell a story. I will relate to it. Not just show me a video of one guy behaving like a gay, rubbing cream on his rubbing cream on his body. I mean, it's not appealing. It's not enticing. It's not pulling me in. But if you talk about a story about how somebody, used this and how their skin changed, oh God, I would want to use it. I'll give you guys an example of how, even if something is not true, like they will say they are selling an AC now. They will say there is a normal AC, there's an inverter AC. An inverter AC saves more electricity. That thing, I still don't believe it did too, because even the normal AC, the inverter AC, my electricity, if I buy 5K worth of electricity, is finishing within 20 hours. So what's the point of the inverter? Oh, please, it's not working now. Except maybe somebody is going to prove me wrong. But I mean, with current evidence, that thing is scam and it costs more money. So what am I saying in essence? I'm saying that you can persuade your customers to spend money with you when you're able to tell them something that they want to hear. I'm not saying you should lie. Maybe these ones are even lying. But I'm not saying you should lie. But persuade them. Tell them what they want to hear. That you don't tell them what you want. Tell them what they want to hear. That's how to sell. You tell your customers the things that, like, they are talking to their friends about. For example, my friends knows that anytime I use a cream, it causes acne for me. If my friend comes here today and say this cream, somebody used it, and the person was using, let's say, a previous cream and it was causing acne, but when the person used this cream, it was not causing acne. The person's skin is now, look at the person's skin, this, that. I will possibly buy, because the person is talking, he's saying what I want to hear. He's saying the problems I have faced with creams, right? I got a notification. Okay. All right. Whiteboard, yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying, right? So UGC is not just, so I want you guys to see UGC different. That's why I spent a little bit more time on this. Like, UGC is not most of the things you see. UGC where they just put somebody rubbing cream. No, that's just aesthetics that they are doing now, not UGC. If you want to see real UGC, you see them on TikTok, not all those Instagram. Well, some are on Instagram that are good, but most good videos that are like good UGC content are always on TikTok. I see them mostly on TikTok. And fun fact, most of my research purposes for ads for physical products is always on TikTok. And I'm going to share with you guys an application, or is it an application, a software that will enable you to, spy on ads, like Facebook Ads Library. Some of you might know it anyways. So that is that with ads. So I was talking about video ads, right? Then I'm going to talk about the second one, image ads. Image ads, right? So I'm going to title it image ads. Then they call it static. By the way, I'm not done with the video ad. I'm going to show you guys. I'm still going to share with you guys some real life case study, and all of that, right? So please prepare. So static, no, I've spelled it right, but anyways, static ads, they are like, from the word static, they are just there, right? So they are image ads. How do you create very good image ads? I think I have to use this here, static, so that I will be faster before I go back to what I wanted to share on that whiteboard. Static ads. All right. There are different ways to create static ads that works. Right? There are different ways to create static ads that work. One of them is using before and after. That's one. I'm going to share you guys at least as much as I can share with you guys tonight, right? Before and after. Before and after. So that means you have somebody that is here. So let's say the person, okay, let's use a skincare as an example, a skincare product as an example. So this is our product. Our product cures or removes acne and eczema. So this was somebody's skin when they had acne and eczema. This is their skin when they use our product. That's before and after. Swift and straight to the point. Let's say the second one, comparison. Now, comparison is simple, is similar to static, to before and after rather. And comparison is, this time is not really before and after, but it is when you use this versus when you use that. So let's take, for instance, you have a product that, I'm trying to look for a very, very relatable example. I can't really find one, and I don't want to use the one that is coming straight to my head right now. Okay, so let's use, for example, let's use the gym, right? I think I can use that, the gym. So there are different ways to do like chest press in the gym, right? You can use the barbell, which is now what they call bench press, right? The barbell is like that flat rod that you now place weight on them, and then you lie down flat on your chest, and then you start lifting it up. That is bench press. Now, there is the other one where you use a dumbbell. Dumbbell is like, it's not a rod, it's like two things that you hold on both of your hands, right? Then you can also lay flat on your chest, and then you lift it up, and then you bring it down as well. Now, there might be an influencer. Now, I'm not trying to tell you guys which one is better, but there might be an influencer that would say that using the bench press is better than using the dumbbell press, the dumbbell chest press, for his own reasons. And he can create a marketing message that would now state why. So that is comparison. So you are telling people that this way is better than this way, even if they are aimed to achieve the same results. So it's like me saying, I could put, I will review this one to you guys. You can do whatever you want with the information. You can say there is a product I have here that is called a fridge stand, right? Now you can say that product you can either put on your fridge styrofoam or wood, or you can put the products that you can wheel around your fridge anywhere you want in your house. Both of them does the same thing. If you put a styrofoam, you put your fridge on something. If you put a wood, you put your fridge on something. If you put the product, you put it on something. So now it's if you are not good with marketing, somebody that is using a wood will beat you. And that is why when you are doing comparison, you have to be sure, or you have to know what you are saying to make sure that you are actually not giving your opponent an advantage. Comparison ad, again, it works like wildfire, right? Good. Then the third one is product benefits. So you put a picture of your product, and then you list the benefits alongside it, and then you put an offer. So it's just like you create a graphics, and then you put the picture of your product, you list the benefits under it, and then you add the offer, right? You create, like I said, you create a picture, you create a what's it called? A graphics, you put the picture of your product, you put a product, you put the list the benefits, and then you add an offer. That's another that's another way to create static ad. Another way is using breaking news, right? Breaking news, like you are announcing it like a new product, right? It will look like so it will catch attention, because of course people like news, people like new things. So it will be like, let's say in Nigeria, you put a logo that looks like Punch. By the way, don't use Punch newspaper, they sue you. All right. So use something that so when people see it, they see Punch, but if they look closely, it's not Punch. So if Punch even comes, this is not your logo now, or Tribune or whatever. And then when you put it like that, people see it, it catches their attention, then because they like new things, they like news, and then you put your offer and why the product is good, you put it there in that image. All right. It usually works in landscape. These other ones that I've been saying before works more in portrait, but these other ones works more in landscape. Right? It works more in landscape. Guys, give me a second, please. Let me shut down the WhatsApp. A second, please. So all right. Can you guys see my screen? Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, so I said the breaking news works more in the landscape format. Landscape is like, you guys know landscape now, the one that looks like a TV. Portrait is the one that is straight, like a yeah, straight down, right? So that's the breaking news format. That's another way to create static image art, right? Static image art. So another is creating popping image, right? Popping images, using popping images like using an image that grabs attention about your product, right? So let's say you are trying to sell a product that shows people how to clean dirt like dirt. Then you just find a picture that is showing dirt. Then you just create a popping image of that. So it's like somebody making a funny face. Look at it as somebody making a funny face. So that's when you relate it to a face. I'm not saying it has to be a face, right? So that is what I mean by popping image. So popping image is like you trying to make an exaggerated stuff, like exaggerated. It's not really a claim, but exaggerated. What's the word now? Show off, if you can call it that, just to grab people's attention. Then the most important part that will now be there to give you an edge, to make sure you use the attention you grab, is in your copy, like the art copy, right? So popping image also works, like and a very very funny image, a controversial image that shows something that grabs attention is usually very awkward. All right, copied images are usually awkward. Yes, when you see it, it looks awkward. I stumbled upon this thing by accident. Now, how do I mean? I told my graphics designer to create a I told my graphic designer to create a what's it called, an image, and she created something that I didn't send her. It was very awkward, and I was like, well, to avoid the benefit of doubt, we just put all of them in an ASC campaign, and we discovered that the popping image was also bringing in leads, or sorry, purchases. So popping images I discovered it by accident. I just called it popping image because it was popping, it was just awkward, right? So that's another way to create static image art, right? So I'm going to reverse back now. Like I said, there are several ways. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going to go show you guys how to use somebody's mic is on. Please mute yourself. So I'm going to show you guys how to use a research tool like Art Library that will show you how to see art. It's not Art Library, it's better than Art Library because it's even a paid tool. Then I'm going to show you how to use it. Then I'm also going to show you guys case studies of art, case studies of real art for static and explain the framework on how they created the art itself. So I'm sure you guys have questions up until now. So make sure you just have your questions documented, right? Make sure you have your questions documented. We are getting closer, right? All right, beautiful. So the next thing I want to talk about, just before I go over the things I said, is I want to talk about the video art. I want to come back here to the video, demo, and UGC art. So now I talked about story in this UGC. I talked about somebody mic is let me see. Okay. I talked about video UGC. I talked about people using a story, right? I talked about people using a story. So how do you use a story in UGC? So there's a product that we sold, though we've stopped selling the products now because of pricing now, because the product was not, it was getting too expensive, and it was getting readily available. So one thing to do, one thing to note as a small business owner running an e-commerce business is you want to sell a product that is not readily available. And this product, I was starting to see it in my junction here in Ibadan, right? If you go to a random pharmacy or a random shop, supermarket, you will see the product there, and it was awkward. Like, if it's, and it's very cheap, and they were selling it at expensive. So it was cheap, but it was still expensive because they were selling it in packs. It was supposed to be in pack. It was supposed to be in like a pack. So they were now selling it in packets, like one packet, two packets, and it was supposed to be an entire pack. So when you calculate the money, it was not worth it. But in the beginning, the product was a very good product, and the product was to solve infestation of insects, right? Infestation of insects. So one of the ways we created the content around that product is that we told a story of how they found bed bugs on a couple's we told the story of how they found bed bugs on a wife's wedding dress, and how awkward it was, right? How awkward it was. So the story transitioned from that to now saying that if you don't want, you don't want your visitors to stop coming to your house. We also told a story. So we used a UGC. So like I said, UGC is not somebody just like the bed bug thing. Now they will just come, they will now start spraying it in their house, and then they will say they have done UGC video for you. No. So we made her talk about a story of how people don't visit her anymore. When she was in school, not don't, it's a past tense. How people didn't visit her anymore when she was in school, because some people came to her house and they saw bed bug and they carried bed bug to their house. Then of course it infested those people's house, and then they hated her for it. All right, they hated her for it. I remember a funny story. Victory might remember. It was very funny too. There was no bed bug, but there was a scenario that almost led us to believe that we saw bed bug somewhere back then. I think that was last year or 2 years ago, and we were very scared about is it bed, because if a bed bug mistakenly infests your house, you are in trouble, right? So it was a very, very funny story. So we used that story, and guys, in fact, this story that I just said now, it can be used to create an ad content to sell that product. So the story the girl used was how people stopped coming to her house because they saw a bed bug in her house, and then when she now used this product, then she was able to stop the bed bug infestation. Actually, the product worked, but man, it would take a lot of effort and a lot of prayers and fasting. But it works. That was just a joke. But bed bugs are something you don't want to joke with. So anyways, she used that angle to create a story, and then that was the ad. So people could relate to it. Like, it was so relatable and smooth and sleek that it just transitioned that they didn't even know they were being sold. I need the product too. I need the product too. I need the product too. I need it too. Because they were just related to a story. They were not seeing themselves as seeing an ad that somebody will just carry and then just be spraying the thing around the house. This will stop bed bug from your house. Who cares? Who cares? They don't care, right? Except you will be lucky if you are selling a product that has a very, very high market, that people like or love the product, want the product. That's when you'll be lucky, and you would have, even though you create a subpar video, people will still be clicking because, of course, your product is good. So imagine yourself now making the video 10 times better. You'll be swimming. You'll be happy, right? So that's that about UGC, right? So I'm going to still talk about it when I talk about marketing angles. So you have to create a story around the product, all right? And when you are trying to create your video ads, you can use demonstration art and talk about it with a voiceover, talk about it with a ed video, like headshot. If you don't have the tools, so if you're just starting, if you don't have the tools to hire a UGC that is very professional, that can do all these things very well, you look on YouTube, you look on TikTok, you pick public available videos. I don't say you should go and so one thing that I hate the most, and I hate it, and I don't like teaching people that does that, is that the people that steal creatives. If I can create a system that will be arresting people, I would have done it. But it's just that in this country, it's just hard. It's just hard to do that kind of a thing, because I mean it's not right. So if I'm saying public available videos. Now, what is public available videos? The people that are producing the product, they have created some videos. They've created some videos for you. So those are public available videos. So you will see it on AliExpress website, those kind of videos. You see it on Gigi, you see it on YouTube. Not something that somebody created on YouTube, but you see it on YouTube. Like I see those kind of videos on YouTube and TikTok a lot. Chinese, you see them there. So what you do in those cases, you compile the demonstrations of this video. I'm going to show you a little bit of how to do that. You download as many as you can. Then you now run a video, a voiceover. Then you now run a video edit where when you are talking about something, that thing comes into screen, right? That thing comes in, and then add a little bit of meme to it. It converts like wildfire, right? So that's how to use story. So if you don't have a UGC creator that can do, because it's a little bit, well, not that expensive. I think we just 30 or 40K, you can hire a very good creator. And they will do a 1-minute clip, but the video will be very long. With 60-70K, you get a good creator on Nova, for example, and they will do a very good video for you, right? So that's that about the videos, right? And I've also talked about the statics. So I'm going to talk about marketing angles. That'll be the last thing. But before I go into marketing angles, I didn't later do this, but it's okay. Before I go into marketing angles, so I'm going to share my screen on the software that I talked about. So the software is called 4Play. 4Play. Not the kind of 4Play that you guys are used to. All right, 4play.co. So this is the software. I'm going to log in. I hope I still remember my details. Anyways. All right. My free trial has expired and they are asking me to renew. I'm not renewing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not renewing anything. So hold on, guys. Let me get to the dashboard. The dashboard is where I'm interested in. Beautiful. All right, guys. So these are your ads over here. These are your ads. So you come to this, of course, you do your free trial thing, and then you can have access to. So let's say somebody should mention a product for me in the chat. Somebody should give me a product. Let's do it with it. Somebody should mention a product. You can type it.
I can't see your screen now.
You can't see my screen. Can anybody
show now? It just started showing now.
Oh, okay. Can anybody just give me a product?
Hair growth oil.
Egg root oil, okay. Egg root oil. All right. Egg root oil. So I'll put the keyword, just like I'll put it in Facebook Ads Library, and let's see what we have here. All right, so we have different egg root oil. Guys, so I don't want to ask questions and make it look like it's a it's a class anyways, but this is exactly what I was talking about when I talk about static. I said you can do what? The third thing. Let's go back. The third way of creating statics. 1, 2, product benefit, product picture plus what? Plus offer. Can you guys see? Product benefit, sticker air in 3 months. That's the offer. And then product image, product demonstration. That's what they did here. Product demonstration. Now, if I want to model this ad, if I see this ad, I don't have to just download this video and then go and use it. I can create a replica of this in a different way. In a very, very different way. I will fix the copy a little bit, but it will still portray the same information. That is static. This is exactly the first thing I said. Product benefit offer. This is the offer, and this is the product picture. So this one usually works a little bit more for retargeting. It works for cold audience as well, don't get me wrong, but works majorly for retargeting, right? So Air Growth Oil, this is a UGC video. Let me play it. And can you guys hear the sound?
No.
Okay, so she's telling a story. I've not even watched the video, but I can already see a story, how I grew my hair. She not just carry the product and start dropping drops of oil on her hair and say, "Oh, the hair is growing." You know, all those aesthetic fine nonsense, beautiful nonsense. It's just like Sancho plays beautiful nonsense, right? So you don't have to run ads that are beautiful, but they are just ads that are nonsense. In fact, one of my mentors used to say something: ugly ads are the best. Ads that are like that. See this ad now. See this picture that looks so basic and all. God knows how much is being spent on this product, and I'm sure it's winning. I'm sure. So don't look too forward to creating beautiful things like, very fine girl touching her hair. No, find one ugly girl that has plenty hair and you cook, right? You are not selling make money online products here, right? So that's it. So she's telling the story of how she grew her hair. Let me just watch it for 5 seconds and see. She said she took her hair from that to that and that. She was showing again, show. Okay. Well, funny enough, this ad is even not the best because the story is not, she just started it, but she didn't go into it. All right. She started the story with here's how I grew my hair from this to this to this. So she could have talked about the story of how she was applying it and how, things started happening. How maybe when she started, her friends doubted it would work or something, right? But I mean, it's still cool because she started with a story anyways. That's a good hooker. This is another UGC. You guys can, knock yourself out when you get here. Right, knock yourself out. You'll find as many things as you want. So it's just like Facebook Ads Library on steroids. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get another product. Let's see. I don't know why my head is short of products tonight. Let's see what remover. All right. These are watt removers. I believe these are demo videos. And these are the publicly available videos that I'm talking about. It's so clear that this is not like this is a video from the producers or something, right? So these are the public available videos I'm talking about. There's not so much ads in this product, but you get the point. You get the point. So I'm going to head over to TikTok as well. I'm going to get over to TikTok. All right. So depending on the product you are selling, let's say hair growth oil again. Okay, let's say hair growth oil again. All right, so what you see majorly here are UGC content you can model, right? Most of the content you see, like I said something at the beginning of this call. I said TikTok is where you find most good UGC creators, right? Because I mean, look at videos that are organic, 4.8 million views, 3.5 million views, 1.8 million views. This is not at 54,000 views for probably she has less than 5,000 followers or 10,000 followers. So this 1.7 million. So these are places you find UGC content, that you can what model. So all you have to do is look for somebody that fits, look for a creator, look for an actor or an actress that fits in the what's it called, the product, the thing you are trying to create, right? And then see, she's selling an hair growth stuff. She's even having hair on her chest. I mean, naturally, I'll believe she knows her stuff, right? So that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? UGC content, these are the way you find them to model. And if you are doing I'm not saying you just copy, download, and start using. Of course, most of these people are even Nigerians. You can't. You just model them here. You look at the structure, the framework, the story, and model them that relate. Let's say we are doing let's say fridge. There's a product called Fridge Organizer that somebody once shared with me, though I don't think it's a good product, but let's just assume it is a good product here. So look at this product. It helps you organize your fridge, right? I'm not seeing anything fridge organizer here. I'm seeing people restocking their fridge. Interesting. I think I should keep scrolling. People are restocking their fridge. I'm not seeing the product. Like exactly why I said it's a bad product. I should have seen plenty videos about it already. I knew it was a bad product anyways. So let me use fridge stand. Let's say a product that you can easily demonstrate. Let's use that. All right, cool. So like I said, if somebody is using wooden fridge stand, if you don't know how to create a marketing angle, they will beat you with the wooden one and your fancy one. All right, so there is what you do with this product. Here is how you get creatives from this product. So this is where I want you to pay attention the most, all right, with how you use voiceovers and how you mix videos that are public. These are publicly available videos, right? Most Chinese videos are publicly available videos. All right, so you pick products where somebody is doing this, fixing the product, putting it together. You download as many as you can without watermark. All right, this is another one. I think it's Chinese. Yes, you download as many as you can without watermark, where the product is in use, where they are fixing the product. From TikTok, don't download people's videos, please. All right, if you can create your own yourself, right? But if you can't, get publicly available videos. I just showed you what they mean. All right, download as many as you can. You are seeing them here. Then you now create a story around it. Talk about, maybe in a story, talk about how somebody that used a styrofoam, how their fridge got destroyed in in less than 2 months because of something that's styrofoam. So it's simple. Dangers of styrofoam. Dangers of this is it. This is so simple. Dangers of styrofoam to fridge. This is the human body. Can I live? It should not be removed. Anyways, this is just you look for something that will put styrofoam in a bad light. All right, Abi styrofoam, whatever it is called. You look for something that will put it in a bad light. I can't do that tonight because I don't want to go deep into it. But what I'm saying is you look for, or you can use wood. Look for something that put wood in a bad light and talk about it in the video, and then you compare it together, and then you create a video representation with good voiceover, and then you are good to go. Right? So that's how you mix videos up with good voiceover, and then you demonstrate how the product works, and you are good to go. For example, this wood now, I can say it does not have a wheel that makes it rotate easily, right? Do you understand? That's one way of doing it. Then you can also go ahead and use another story. So I'm going to talk about coming up with angles, how you can come up with different angles later on in this training tonight. I think that's what I'm going to talk about next, and that's going to be like the last thing, how to come up with marketing angles, right? So that's how you deal with this. That's how you deal with this. That's how you get plenty, depending on just come to TikTok, you see plenty videos that are publicly available. All right. Then I want to show us some static image ads before we go to marketing angles. All right. So let's go. So this is a product, offer. This is the offer, 90 days money back guarantee, what the product does, and of course the product picture, and then an headline. So they say it helps you lose weight, curb appetite, and burn calories. It's for people that has PCOS. Obvi Collagenix Bone Elite. Personally, I have an interest in that product. I will look at it later on. All right, so very good ad, catches attention. This is before and after. I told you this is the perfect example, right? Before and after that I gave you guys. This is comparison. So if you use this product, you talk about the bad feature, just like I said, when I was using the AC and the rechargeable mist fan, I was talking about you can't move the AC around. I was talking about the AC cannot cover the full length of the entire room because the room is big, right? But I'm saying that the mist fan, you can put it close to yourself. You can move it around. It's cheaper. So you can say AC, more expensive, cannot be moved around, does not cover the full length of the room. Less expensive, can be moved around, covers the full length of the room. That's how you do comparison ads, right? Very good comparison ads over here. You put the picture, you put the name, and you put the problem itself, and then you compare it, right? There are more and more and more, right? Like this is another, is this a comparison ad? I think so. Beer fear, comparing beer and all of that. I think this product is about the product I talked about with dogs. All right. This one is for white guys, not for us. Anyways. All right. Product picture and then what it does and an offer. Simple. Right? This is a popping video, popping image. Yes. This is a popping image. You see, this image does not really have shape or form or anything. Of course it has, but it just has this kind of pop that when you see it, you will stop. This is how it looks like. It looks awkward, but this is how popping image looks like. This is an example of a popping image. An image that pops, that catches your attention. Right? Something that catches your attention. This is another comparison I think the best set that I've seen now, like over here. Some of my ads follow this framework, not most of my ads. This is it. You talk about what it cannot do, then you talk about how this one beats it, then you put their pictures, put their name. Simple. Make it smooth and fine. Look at how beautiful this is. All right, it has aesthetic, but it has substance too. It's not just a fine nonsense, right? So these are examples. More. This is before, this is after. More and more and more and more, in the words of Peter Drury, right? So you can keep getting. This is a very good ad. They did a screenshot of Google of them searching something and added it to the image. It will catch attention. I've not even thought of this. Let me write it down. I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this in one of our ads, Google search, right? So it will definitely catch attention. I like it. Then they talk about the product. They search something that relates to the product. The best drink this summer. And you can even edit it. You can create it like you can put your product, the best hair growth oil now. Then you have a graphic designer, you edit it. It's not illegal to do that. I don't think that's illegal or that's bad or unethical. No, do it. If you trust your product, put it. Do it like that's a Google search. Then put the product picture and put the benefits and put a call to action. I'm definitely going to Google search image. I'm going to try that. Right? I hope you guys have really learned that. So we can keep going on and on and on and on. We'll be seeing similar things: product picture, offer, and then you are good to go. Right? This is also called meme ad. Meme ad. This is also called meme. This is meme ad. I've not really tried meme ads. So what I usually do with memes is that they're always in my videos. Like when I'm creating those videos I explained earlier with those stuff, meme ads are usually like a part of it. So I just put memes like inside the video. So I've not really tested them as static. But I mean, it's worth testing, but I've not really tested them, I would say. So we can keep going on and on about this template, but these are how you create those ads, right? Recently as well, just like I said, that the Google screenshot, I'll try it because one of the convictions I have about that is this man here. So let me go to my Facebook account. I'm going to show you guys something. So one of the convictions I have about that thing is because somebody is using something very, very similar. Here's a guy, Hernan Vasquez. By the way, he's a very good Facebook ad guy. I think he posted it. Did you not? Beautiful. Can you believe this thing is working? So see the ad. The ad is a screenshot, right? The ad is a screenshot of like a post that he made. This is the ad itself. This is the copy. If you check over here, this is the copy. This is the ad itself. But this image over here, this is the screenshot. This, I made a super fancy funnel, blah, 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 $5. Click here to buy this thing. Screenshot of a post he made and the link, and then another comment. If I want to do it better, I will just make sure someone comments before I screenshot it. So that's why I was talking about doing the Google thing, because I think recently I've started seeing people using screenshots of what they say or stuff, like calling yourself the best or something, and then screenshotting it and then using it. I've started seeing it working. That's why I talked about using it, right? Okay, beautiful. So we could keep going on and on, but I think we've exhausted that. So basically, guys, those are the structures, those are the things you look at while creating your art, right? And the last thing to talk about is what was it? Marketing angles, right? marketing angles. So creating a story from different angles is how you create marketing angles. That's one. Like I said, we wanted to sell a bed bug product. Then we talked about a story where somebody, his friends cannot visit her because she had bed bug in her house. We talked about somebody taking it like it was, she had it on her wedding dress. So we could also create an angle where somebody lost a multi-million contract because the contractor came to his house and they saw bed bugs. Or we could also talk about the fact that um, somebody lost a multi-million contract because they saw cockroach in his in his house. Why would you have cockroach in your house, right? So creating marketing angles is all about looking at different stories that relates to the problem your product is trying to solve. You look at different stories and then you just try to, pitch it together, put it together, align them to make sure they relate to that product, to that problem your product is trying to solve, right? That's another way of creating marketing angles. Then also, like I said, you have to know what your product does in the first place, then just create multiple stories around it. So just you have to think wide. All right. You can also add ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you ideas, but one of the ways to do it is that don't limit yourself to one angle. Create multiple angles. Like create your ad, like, because it may be the one that you don't think would work that would work in terms of the angle that you are coming from to sell the product. You could sell a product like if somebody will be selling a product and they will be making sale, but their angle is something else. But you could be selling the same product and be using it to solve a different problem. For example, I'm going to show you guys something to prove my point. All right. Where is the search button? Celsius, one of the biggest guys in e-commerce that I know of in Nigeria. Anyways, how did they spell? How did they spell that his name again? Then okay, guys, hold on. You would have made a tweet now. Guys, hold on. I'm going to get this for you. The only thing is that the spelling. Hold on. Let me check my phone. Okay, it's not. It's Celsius. I don't know why I'm struggling to find somebody on Twitter. Is it that hard? Guys, just give me a moment. It's not that hard. I want to show you guys something about marketing angles, which is very, very, very important. If it's not important, I would have skipped it. So just hold on. Okay. Beautiful. Why were you hard to find, Chief? So he made a tweet. And it was earlier this year or late last year. I hope he didn't delete the tweet. Very, very important tweet. And I want you guys to learn from it. this is what you get when you exactly this is what you get when you have somebody tweeting about so many things. See the tweet, guys, read it. We are selling a product that solves problem A. A lot of our customers are saying it solves problem A and another problem B. Our first agenda is to rebrand the product and make it focus on problem B while leaving the original as well. Can you guys see something here? So you can create different, like you can literally say that a sponge can be used for something else apart from washing something, if it can be used for it. So it is you that what's the word, that would decide the market that you want to. Of course, you know what your product does, so you can basically decide within yourself that this is the problem you want your product to solve. So when you are able to do that, you can create multiple marketing angles for one single product, and all the angles will be selling it, or some will be selling it, and maybe you will see the one that are not selling it and you shut them down. So they have a product that even in their mind, it is problem A that is solving, but customers are even helping them see that, no, we are using this product for this thing, or not for the thing you actually are selling it for. And that's a marketing miracle there. Their customers are the ones that are even opening their eyes to the possibility, right? So why did I share that in essence? With my last word is, before the questions and answer, I share that in essence so that you can understand the power of marketing and branding your product in a way that fits different angles. All right, so you can sell a single product different ways. All right, so thank you guys for joining in. I think that will be the end from my end. Do we have any question? I think we should have. Do we have any question?
I have a question.
Okay, cool. Go on.
I have a question. Okay, I wanted to ask
Yeah, go on, go on.
for
I'm with you.
e-commerce ads. Do we also just go with broad targeting, or would also have to do keyword targeting?
Yes, I was supposed to talk about targeting. Yeah, very good question. So for e-commerce ad, I usually go with much more and more of broad targeting, right? More and more, like 80% or 70% of my ads are on broad targeting. All right. I still use a little bit of interest here and there, lookalikes, but 80% of my ads are on broad targeting.
Okay, thank you. Another question. For, let's say, campaign structure, for example, I'm scaling. Let me say I was running on 5K ad budget before daily ad budget. I had like 3 videos in it. Or, okay, this campaign structure also okay. For example, I separate my video campaign from my images campaign and allow images compete against images and allow video compete against videos. And how do I also scale my e-commerce ads?
Okay, how do you scale your e-commerce ad? Another very good question. So went from spending, I think we are not really spending much yet, but if you classify 300K daily as a reasonable scale, I think that's what we are currently doing. We are looking to scale to at least 1 million daily, right, before the end of this year. How do you scale to that? How did we scale to that? Very simple. So I created multiple campaigns. That's one. And in some of the campaigns, I had several campaigns, like I said, multiple campaigns. Then I looked at, so different campaigns add different creatives. Most of them is usually create add ASC, and then I create a dynamic test, a flexible art in some cases as well. Then I check for the best performing ad. Then I create another ASC. So instead of using dynamic ads this time, I pick like 2 best performing ads, and then I bring them in another ASC campaign, and then I put big budget like 100K daily on that campaign straight up, right? That's how we scaled, right? That's how we scale. Now, how do we now scale to, want to scale, like I said, want to scale to like 1 million daily before, in fact, before July, by God's grace. And how do we intend to do that? So one of the ways we intend to do that is to create new angles. So currently, what we are currently doing, we are using like just 2 angles to sell our product. So I'm looking at creating like a new angle completely for our product. So we are not going to be talking about the things we are saying. We want to sell to a completely new market within Nigeria, and this time we want to even price our products like significantly higher so that those people can pay for it and then they can afford it. It's still the same product, but we'll price it higher for them, and it's a new market. So that's one thing that we are intending doing, right? We are already working on it, but we have not launched ads yet because we want to, stabilize January, February, and then before the end of February, we should be launching those ads with those new angles, at least 2. Then that would enable us scale to about, we can spend 200K, 300K. That will enable us scale to like 700K daily thereabout. And from there, I think we'll now join or add we're adding another product. All right. So it's going to be like not a single product spending 1 million. It'll be like 2, 3 products spending 1 million, but one is going to be significantly spending about 600, thereabout 1,000. So those are the things that we are looking at to scaling. But currently, what you do is just find your best performing ads from your other ASC campaign that you use a flexible ad for. Then just put it in another ASC campaign, put big budgets, just run it. And also don't be quick to turn off ads with e-commerce. E-commerce is not an ad that you run one day and then you turn it off because it's bringing, let's say, 6,000 or 7,000 cost per purchase. No, you don't. Leave it. E-commerce is an ad that is so funny that it can go from very bad to excellently good within a few days, and it will just be funny. That's one thing I've also noticed about e-com ads, right? So don't turn your ad off so quick. Don't be quick to turn it off. Be patient, and you might see good results.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just want to confirm this thing. Okay, this is what I'm currently running an ads, an e-com ad. When I started the ads, right, I did zero targeting, and then I just put 50,000 naira daily budget, and then put all my images and videos together. When I was running that ad, I ran it for like, let me say, a week. I was having cost per conversion at 2.5, some days 5,000. Then I now decided that okay, I now recreated the campaign, but this time I separated my videos from my images, and then I now put it on each of them, on each of the campaign. I put 5,000 naira, and then when I put 5,000 naira, then my cost per purchase was now like 900, 800, 500. Like it was way lower relative to when I tried using 50,000 naira to start the whole ad. So, for example, now I have these ads are performing very well. I want to scale them, but I've not really got. I've been thinking of the perfect way to scale it. Before I was thinking of I just maybe recreate. I have to go and recreate this same 5,000 naira campaign now on maybe more ad accounts, or duplicate that same ad and just maybe add more create and just bring and use different creatives.
Okay. So what you said about when you use 50K and your cost per purchase being a little bit higher is valid, right? Is very much valid. I mean, I've seen it as well several times, right? Where we increase our ad costs, especially when we went from 50K upwards, right? It was the first time I was seeing 3K per result, and it was funny. Like, how did we go from very good 1,900, even 800 to over 3,000? And what we did basically is that we created more ads, right? So we created more ads, and once we created more ads, we had some that failed. I think we created just even about 5 that was also the first time that I looked towards static ads. At that point, I'd never used static ads. That was around May or April. I can't even remember. May or June, thereabouts, right? Last year. So we used those new ads to bypass or boycott the increase in cost per purchase, because those new ads, luckily for us, we're able to find well, I won't say luckily, but I mean good for us, we're able to find some creatives that were doing 1,001, 1,002. So we're spending high on them. And one thing I also notice is that when starting an ad, right, sometimes it's not even why. If you don't have a lot of budget, well, that's fine. But if you have budget, start high. Like, start with, I have somebody that is ad, he doesn't start with anything less than 100K. I met him in a group. This guy is crazy. I'm like, he just create an ad today to test the product. He has put 100,000 naira daily spend on, and stack all his creative, put them there like 10, and put different copies, put all the things that he needs to put, and he just puts 100K, and he goes from there. That's how the guy does his ad. And I'm like, wow. So that's also something that helps, because if you start there, Facebook usually would not, they would, I don't think for them it's a scale. They are seeing it as you starting an ad. Do you understand? But when you start with 5K, they know that when you start spending times 10, you are scaling. They know, it's obvious. So by that point, or by that time, the normal, I don't think it's the way we see it. The way we see it is that the audience size reduces. Of course, they are showing your ads to more people per time. Of course, that is valid. But I think Facebook too are being manipulative, in my own opinion, though. So when you start high, you might be able to boycott or bypass that fact where your ad scaling it has to increase your ad per cost per purchase. But it's up for debate. One thing that I would just recommend is that when your cost per purchase goes up, when you try to increase your budget, create new ads. Like, just create like 5, 6, 7, 8 new ads and test it. You get.
Yes, I understand you. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. Do we have further questions? Do we have further questions? I don't think we have any question anymore. Victory, are you here?
Yeah. I'm here. So thank you so much for like the presentation, Omo. It was really, really great. Like, you literally broke down most of what they need to like get started with e-commerce. Right. So guys, you've heard what Toiba said, and I think the session was recorded. So I also upload the recording on the platform. Right. Just go through it over and over again, and then you also need to test, right? There are some of the information that you shared that you might need to test, and you discover that, okay, in your market, maybe you need to start this way, you need to start that way. You understand? And one of the reasons why I created this program is for people that already have some experience with ads, because I don't like people that cannot think for themselves, that they just want you to tell them, oh, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = they want you to tell them every single step to take, right? If you want to really become a big and very, very successful marketer, you should be able to take little information and then go all in with that little information, test this out, and get breakthrough for yourself. You understand? Toiba shared so much, from pricing to ad to the most important aspect of e-commerce, and I think you have most of what you need to really, really scale your business as someone that's into e-commerce, right? And that's literally, there's a lot of money in e-commerce. Even myself, not only make me done the e-commerce. It's just that delivery wahala that is in Nigeria. That's why
No come, he choke. The problem choke.
that's why I've not been into e-commerce. If I ever get an opportunity to do e-commerce in the international space, I'll go big on it. In fact, e-commerce is the biggest is literally the biggest niche when it comes to paid ads. Like e-commerce, all these digital product ads are running here and there's all this small thing. E-commerce is the biggest niche. Me, I will learn a lot from e-commerce to run my digital product ads. Right. So that's basically it, guys. Go all in with the information you've got into the hand, you'll be able to get great results. So one more thing, right? I added the a template of 100 static ads to the platform, right? You go and check it out. It's on the static ads are on Canva, right? They are very good at. In fact, I've taken some of those templates and used to run for digital products, and I've gotten results with those static ads for digital products to show you how powerful they are, right? They are all e-commerce ads. Go and check it out. It's on the platform, and you definitely see so many ads that you can tweak. One of my biggest strategies, I always just study, being in a place where you are studying a lot of successful projects, a lot of successful ads, and looking for how you can, tweak it and replicate it to fit into your own stuff. And there's something recently that I want to start doing is to basically start taking trends, right? I want to start using, previously we use the ads manager as our major source of research, right? But now I want to start even moving research beyond the ads manager, because the kind of ads I want to run, very few people are running it on the ads manager in Nigeria, right? So I want to start using social media as the major research tool for ads that I'm pushing out, right? Using trends. For example, now let's say I want to run a Forex ad. Mark Inge just complained that he lost $3.7 million trading Forex last year. It was the hardest year of his life. Like, basically, if I want to launch a Forex project now, I'll go and check that article, read everything, check the major news, Insta blog, all those gist lover, all those people that posted it. What are people saying in the comment section about Forex and all that? Those are research too. So if you want to launch any successful project, right, you need to even start looking just beyond the ads manager. You need to go into social media. What are people saying about stuff like this? What are the problems people are saying with their own mouth, right? With their own mouth, they are saying this problem with their own mouth. They are not even, nobody was interviewing them. In fact, interviews are really fake. If you go and meet somebody and tell them what is the problem you are facing, 100% of the time, the person might not even say the right thing, even if he doesn't want to lie. But when somebody uses his mouth to just say something himself, nobody interviewing, nobody asking questions, that's when the person is really telling you what is going on in his mind. You get what I mean? So, like, you need to do a crazy level of extensive research, right? To launch any project. Any project, I see people you come and go and launch a project. You are starting your campaign with 2 ads and all that. Every single project I launch right now, I launch it with 15 to 20 ads. Any new project I launch right now is 15 to 20 ads. No time. I do extensive research, right? Come up with a lot of creative images, videos, everything. Then launch the project. There's a very high chance that you are going to start very well, and you're going to be able to scale very well if you start with a lot of creatives, right? That's just what I have to say from my end. So I think Ezekiel, your hand is up, right? Do you have any question?
No, I don't have any questions. Sorry, I forgot to drop it down.
Okay. So thank you so much for Toib. Don't worry, I get one mad gift for you like this for DM. I go enter your DM like this. I get one very mad deal. This year this year we are moving up to big things. So you have to think really big this year. Facebook ads, I'm not chilling on Facebook ads. I push mad ads every day like this, right? There's even somebody working in my team right now every day like this, like every week I push like 10-15 new ads every week. And me, I don't know about other people right now. I'm not even using interest. Now the reason why I'm not using interest, I don't know if it applies to e-commerce. Now the reason why I'm not using interest is because, all right, there was a time I used to combine interest. In fact, there was a time I used to combine interest, custom audiences, and then I was also combining it with Advantage Shopping Plus campaign, right? And I noticed that even some of my interests, some of my custom audience, they were giving cheaper, cost per purchase, right, in the camp. So I thought that, okay, since they are giving cheaper cost per purchase, let me be using everything together. Whichever one is giving cheaper cost per purchase, and then I'll just be scaling it and all that. But like, I noticed a very big issue scaling interest keywords. And there's another thing I also noticed, which was most of my campaigns, they were they were competing with each other, right? For example, you could be running multiple campaigns and then the ads are running to the same people. What do they call it? Audience overlap. I was experiencing a lot of audience overlap, high frequency and stuff like that, right? So I just decided that, see, what I'm going to do in the past 1 year, what I've just been doing is one. I don't know if it applies to e-commerce though, right? Because I've not run e-commerce ads for a while, but like what I do is one campaign. If you check my campaign now, I have like, let me check this campaign now. If you check this campaign, I have like close to, this is the almost 40 ads inside one campaign like this. And today, this evening, as I'm speaking to you now, I'm adding like 3 extra
So
ads.
you have different groups of flexible ads, Abi?
Not different groups of, they are individual ads, each of them.
Okay. It's not flexible. It's just individual ads under the ESC.
So the issue I had with flexible ads was I couldn't really find out which of the creative is bringing in the result. That was the issue. Even when I do the breakdown, you can't really spot the creative that is bringing in the result. I like being able to spot the creative that is bringing in the result. And then sometimes I don't think you can convert flexible ads into existing posts.
No, you can't. But I spot it in some ads actually. But yeah, you are right. In one of my campaigns, I couldn't spot it, but I spot it in some of my ads as well. So I still use ASC. So you just use a single campaign, that's ASC ad set, and 40 like 20 ads on it.
I have 40 like this, and I push and go like 50 in the next like 1 week like this. That ad get 50 like I'm pushing. So basically, what I'm doing right now is that I'm laying a lot of trust in the Facebook algorithm, right? I'm laying a lot of trust in them to, Facebook. They're constantly improving on their system, right? And what they are doing is they are just analyzing your result for you and helping you just, especially sales campaign. That's why even before in the next 2 or 3 months, I'll stop running anything called lead gen. So even if I'm running a lead gen for now, I'll do it sales. Because one thing that Facebook is doing with sales campaigns now, they are directly optimizing your campaign for you. They are finding what time of the day do people buy, what type of people buy, since your main goal is purchase, right? So they are doing all the optimization for you to make sure that they find out their own is just, let me find who is going to buy this guy's product at a cheap cost. That's basically what they are trying to do. If you are running, for example, now I have 40 ads that is running like this now, like inside one campaign. If I add a new ad to it, they are going to test it to a little budget to know that are people relating with this ad. Immediately people are relating with the ad, they will just start increasing the budget on that particular ad automatically, right? So they are just trying the best possible. And there was something that recently blew my mind, because I was working with a company recently, right? Their ad account was in a different time zone. So normally, that Facebook usually spend a lot of their budget from 6 o'clock in the morning to around 9 o'clock. Then the budget, the spend start reducing from 10 to like 5, then goes up again like 6 p.m. in the evening to like, let's say 9 or 10 p.m. in the evening, right? So we can say that the peak time that Facebook spends more of your budget is like 6 a.m. in the morning to like 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, then 6 p.m. in the evening to like 10 or so in the evening, right? Yeah. That's the time. So I was working with a company that their ad account was in a different time zone to the place where they are running the ads. So for example, let's say the company is in the UK now, they're using GMT time zone, right? But the time zone on the ad account was PST, which is like GMT +8. That was like far from the
7 hours difference.
Like 8 hours actually. 8 hours, no, not from Nigeria. The company is not in Nigeria, so they are using GMT. The time zone on ad account is GMT +8. That's 8 hours difference. So I was a bit scared. I was thinking that, since Facebook has peak time of spending budget, that they are going to start spending the budget at the wrong time because the time zone is different. But one thing about optimization is that they are going to run the ad, and if it's 12 o'clock at night that you get the most result, they will spend your budget that time. They don't. You understand what I mean? They are always going to optimize the stuff, and that's why I tell people focus on creative, focus on creating mad. I have ads that be running for more than 1 year. I have one ad that's been running for 1 year and 6 months now, and it's still my best performing ad till date. 1 year. I have like 4 ads. One is I've been running for 1 year and 6 months. Another one's been running for 1 year. Another one's been running for like 3 others have been running for 1 year. I mean, every single day, back to back, and they are still my best performing ads till date. So if you come up with quality creatives, and one of the reasons why I pack a lot of ads inside one campaign is that now I have ads that have been running for 1 year. Why is it possible for that ad to run for 1 year and not fatigue? It's running for 1 year and not fatigue, even if I'm spending a lot of money, because I also have a lot of quality ads. So even if my budget is 500k, right? That 500k, the burden is not on one ad. You understand? That ad that is bringing in results since 1 year can keep finding new people to deliver the ad to. Why the new creatives I'm bringing on board, they can be going back to maybe some of the old people that did not buy that my best performing ad and see if they'll buy from this current creative. So when you have a lot of very, very great creative inside one campaign, like I mentioned, Facebook is doing the optimization. They are doing the whole optimization for you. They are deciding which ad they are going to be showing to new people. They are deciding which ad they are going to be using for retargeting, more of retargeting. They are doing all the optimization for you. You understand? And the burden of your budget is not spent on one ad. And I don't even need to switch off. I don't switch off ads anymore. Say, oh, this one is not converted. I don't switch off ads anymore. It's very simple. I explained this in my program. I said that majority of your budget is going to go to your best ads. Majority of your budget is going to go to your best ads. That's just it. And I've seen cases where an ad that is not even converting can all of a sudden 1 week just pick up and boom, it's just doing so well. You understand? So like they're always going to spend majority of your budget on your best ads. So just focus on creating great ads, right? And there's one last thing that I also need to mention, right, before we end the session today, so that we don't spend too many time in this session, too long in this session, right? When you find your best ad, when you find a very good ad, all right, each ad is worth 5 other ads, right? So one of the reasons why I'm able to like create a lot of creative is not because I'm thinking of completely new ideas every single week, right? I look at my best ads. Sometimes I take the same script, the same everything. I go to a new location, change my clothes, record that ad, and that new location can perform better than the previous ad. Same thing. Sometimes I take the same script, I give another person to record. They record the same thing. I have 2 ads I've been running for close to a year now. The same thing, just 2 different persons, and they're doing really well. So don't just look at one ad that's performing and think that, oh, if I want to add another creative to this campaign, then I need to come up with another fresh idea. No, you could take that same idea, just make a little tweak, especially with static ads. People that are in e-commerce, you're doing static ads, right? So you can take one graphics design that is doing okay and create 10 graphics design. Same design, the only thing you change maybe is the text. I told people one of the reasons why I don't like telling newbies to use static ads or to use image ads is because image ads is purely copywriting. Image ad is not design, it's not graphic design, how smooth the design was, how well it's copywriting. So the text on this thing is like a headline in a sales page. You can create an ad that will not perform well, saying grow your hair fast. Maybe that's the text on the ad, and it's thanking. That same ad, you take it and change it to stop being embarrassed by closing your hair, and boom, that ad is doing massive results. So you need to remove your mindset from thinking that, oh, you know, anytime I need to come up with new creatives, I need to come up with fresh idea, I need to come up with something very, very different. In fact, one of the assignments I want to give to you guys here, take any of your average ads or any of your good ads, go and create, what's this word now? Several variations of that same ad and pack everything into your campaign, right? Take your average ads, What, look at it. How can I improve on this ad? What text can I change on this ad? What do you think can resonate with people more? And that's why I told you I'm spending more time on social media. What language are people using right now? So first ad is saying, oh, learn forex trading today. I can go and change the text and say forex is a scam. See why? Boom. Ad that is doing averagely is now performing really well because I went on social media and everybody's calling forex a scam. I'm using the language. I'm using what they are thinking now. Static ads is pure copywriting. That's just it. Of course, you can use templates to come up with great ideas and all that. You could do ads manager, but it's pure copywriting. Static ads is pure copywriting. You understand? So you could take your average performing ads, do multiple variations. There's something that so many brands are doing right now is that if you have maybe one UGC video that is doing okay, you give another creator same video, same script, same story, same everything. It could just be that the new creator that you gave that stuff to is going to give you a better result because the person is just fine now. So these are things you test for. So don't think that, oh, coming up with better creative means that you need to come up with fresh new ideas and all that all the time. But what I need you guys to know is that any average result or any great result you have right now can be better. You understand? You just need to come up with more variations of it and come up with volume. Volume is important, especially if you want to scale. Stop trying to scale just that your 3 ads. You want to be increasing the budget and you're complaining that the ad performance is reduced all the time. Right? Come up with volume. There are so many great ads that's going to boost up your campaign that you don't know because you've not even tested it out. And because you are always relying on coming up with fresh ideas. You only launch new creative when you have a fresh idea. When you get one light bulb, that's when you launch a new creative. Sit down with your current creative, put everything in Canva and change the text. Right? And sometimes, even when I want to use flexible ad format, what I do for flexible ad format is, let's say I have one graphics design. I can change the text 5 times on that same graphics design and put it in flexible ad format. Or maybe I'll change the background 5 times and put it in flexible ad format. That's how I do flexible ad format. But I don't like put very, very different campaigns into one flexible ad format because so many creative can relate with different people, right? So many creative can relate with different people. There are so many angles to approach promoting a product, right? So if you put everything in flexible ad format, Facebook is just going to prioritize maybe the one that is just giving the cheapest cost per sale. Now, if you are always looking for cheap cost per sale, that's your biggest metric in running ads, you are not going to be able to scale. Because to me, there's no difference between something that is giving me 1,000 naira cost per sale and 1,300 naira cost per sale. Yes, 1,300 naira cost per sale is 30% more expensive. But that 1,300 naira cost per sale, am I profitable with it? Yes. Though, so why can't I keep maybe spending more money on the one doing 1,000 naira cost per sale and still spending money on the one doing 1,300 cost per sale? So at the end of the day, I'm spending a lot of money. Instead of me just prioritizing the one doing 1,000 per sale, and then when I try scaling that one, I'm putting a lot of burden on that one, and then the results start tanking, and I start looking for fresh creatives to add to the whole stuff. When I run any campaign, my only focus is profitability. Is this cost per result profitable? Yes. Can I make it better? Yes, I will. Over time, I'll come up with better creative that will make it better. But I don't kill anything that is profitable. I don't. Because prioritizing all your large spend, especially if you are spending 50K a day and all that, okay, fine. But if you're looking to spend 500K, 1 million and stuff like that, you cannot just spend that money on those 3 ads that is doing well. It can't work. It will mess up those ads. So you need to keep spending your large money on any single ad that is profitable, that is like really that's okay. The profit is okay. You understand what I mean? The goal is to scale and do big figures here. The goal is not to. That's why I always laugh when I see people come on Twitter. They say I spent 30,000 naira on this ad. I make back 150,000. That is 5x return. Come on, stop all those small things here. Come, tell us that you spent 10 million and you make back 50 million. Hey, I will listen to you. 30,000. How much you made a profit of 120,000? How can that change your life? That 120K profit, you know, you go out or you go to one or two places, you go to one nice restaurant, like money don't finish. You get what I mean? Right. So think about scale, think about massive. So, you know, the result I was getting in 2023, 2024, I was thinking I've hit the limit. That the kind of, you know, numbers I'm getting right now, I don't really think maybe I can do more numbers. So let me start selling more products so that I'll be able to increase. Bro, I'm doing 2 times the numbers I was doing 2023, 2024. Maybe it could be attributed to January. Early January is always a very, very booming period in terms of sales, because a lot of people are doing this new year, new me. They want to be different this year, so they are buying things thinking that they are going to be different this year. Anyways, that could be attributed to that. I don't know yet. But like, I'm doing way more numbers at a much faster pace, still profitable, just because I don't burden my good ads. Let the good ads be spending majority of my budget. All right. Then I'll still keep some budget for the ones that are just doing okay, the ones that are just giving me profit. You understand? Somebody can see your good ad and not buy, and they will see your average ad and buy. You understand? One of the biggest factors to getting sales is when you're constantly hitting people, and you're not just hitting people with the same set of ads. You are hitting people with different ads. Because once you are hitting people with the same set of ads, they get used to your face. Once they see suits, they see fine face. Oh, Natoyi be this. Skip. But you want to skip my ad, Abi? Since you skip my suit and my fine face, you will see fine girl and you click on that ad and buy. Or you see different format, creative diversity. If you go to the art library, you check my ad, you will see different diversity of creatives, like very, very different creatives. You skip videos, you will see graphics design. You skip graphics and you will see meme. In fact, I launched a meme ad that did really, really well for me. Sales campaign was doing crazy results for me. It was doing better than many of my videos. My next stop is meme ad and cartoon animation. I'm going to launch a lot of cartoon animations. Like, bro, you can't run. As far as you need that product, you must buy. You can't run. You see video, you skip. You see man, you skip. You see woman, you skip. You see AI, you skip. You go just see meme where you click buy. If you not click meme, you buy cartoon. You see cartoon, you buy. If you not buy that one, you see skit, you buy. You understand what I mean? And that's why I always use one campaign, because it just basically helps me, you know, it pushes different creatives to different set of persons. There's some of my creatives that are going to relate more with women, right? They're going to relate more with women. There's some of my creatives that are going to relate more with men. You understand? There's some of my creatives that are going to relate more with people that are advanced. It's just different. But I have that diversity in my campaign. Everything is our campaign. Some are delivering cheaper, some are delivering more expensive. But as long as everything is profitable, each of them are profitable, I'm good to go. And Facebook will always keep spending my budget on the best profitable ads. So you see how, you know, I'm able to scale. So that's just what I wanted to add from my own end. You need to push in volumes. Go and check some big e-commerce brands. Your mouth will open down. Not even big e-commerce brands. E-commerce startups in America. Like, this person just got a great product. They just got funding and all that. Go and check the ad. You'll be seeing 1,000 ads. You'll be seeing 1,500. Do you think they got 1,500 ads by switching off any single ad that didn't just perform? They are just switching it off. No. They didn't get to that extent by switching ads off here and there. They got to that extent by letting Facebook spend majority of their budget on their best ads. Why they focus on improving the quality of the creatives that they put in. You understand? That's just what I have to say. That you need to do volume. And you need to do quality volume. Let's put it that way. You need to do quality volume. Stop trying to scale that your 3 or that your 4 ad. Stop launching 10 ads, 2 perform well, then you switch 8 off, and then you're looking for one light bulb again to come to your head to give you another idea before you add another ad to it. You understand? That's just basically what I need to add from my end. You need to stop putting so much body on your best ad so that you can scale. You understand? So that's basically it. Right. That's basically it. And then the last thing I need to say is the pathway to more profitability is not cheaper cost per purchase. Stop thinking that if your cost per purchase, of course, don't get me wrong, I'm always aiming for a good cost per purchase, a cheap cost per purchase. If I can get a cheap cost per purchase, glory be to God. If I'm getting expensive cost per purchase, I'm always creating new creative to see if I can bring it down. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should ignore that. But don't think that that's what's going to make you rich. It's not cheap cost per purchase that's going to make you rich. It's funnel and customer acquisition. That's what's going to make you rich. Acquire customers, retain these customers, get them to buy multiple, get them to refer people. Use customers to build your brand. That's what's going to make you rich. Not. I can't count how many projects that I launched that was struggling, and I kept focusing on the cost per purchase. That if I can just get this cost per purchase to this extent, then I'll be very, very profitable. And I struggled for a long period of time until I just made a remarkable change in the funnel, and boom, I'm now very profitable from that same funnel I was struggling in. You understand? So funnel. Where can I add a upsell? How can I improve on the product that I add as my upsell? Right? Should I add a better product as my upsell? How can I, these are the other things, the business side of the game. That's what makes you more money, don't just look totally at the ads manager side. You understand? A lot of people are thinking that, if I can just take my cost per purchase of 1,500 to 1,000, then I'll be very, very profitable. Maybe. But that's not what's going to make you rich from the business. It's the business side that's going to make you rich from e-commerce, not the ads. You need to go and see what big brands are spending now. You think big brands, they are looking for the cheapest cost per purchase. Big brands are spending crazy money. Like, if you look at their ads manager, you almost shed tears. You'll be like, bro, are you sure you guys are making money safe? But they know, they understand the business side of the game. They know the business side. And that's why they can run expensive ads for a long period of time. You see Temu now. Temu, they told you that their budget is $2 billion. If you go and check their ads manager, don't think that every ad that they're running, that if you buy a product of 30,000 naira, it costs them maybe 1,000 naira to sell you that 30,000 naira product. Don't think they can be spending 50,000 to sell that 1,000 naira product, but they understand the business, and that's why they are still going to be very rich. They understand the business side of the game. So if you want to be profitable in e-commerce, don't just focus on the ad side. Also learn the business side. That's what's very, very important. If you need to brand, like, get people to remember your name. Because some people in e-commerce, they are always approaching it like a get rich quick scheme. Just open one page, name it Slap Shoes. Just put one logo like that. You just sell small here and there. The stuff stop converting. Open another page like this. Give her one name like that. If you are getting good results, then start branding alongside. Let people remember your name. Let your website link be short. These are the business side of the game that makes you profitable over time. If your website link is slapshoes.com, boom, very easy to remember. Somebody will buy and tell his friend, slapshoes.com. Very, very, very easy to remember. Brandy, you have a logo. People know your name. These are things that is going to make people, eventually like scale your stuff over time. Like, that's just what I have to say from my own end. I don't know if anybody is having anything to add or any stuff before we end the session right now. Any additions, any final questions? Let's end the session. This is about 2 hours, 30 minutes now. It's been an awesome session. All right. So in the absence of any other, stuff, right? We'll end the session right here. Thank you so much to you for all that you've shared. I'll go enter your DM, more and line some bigger matters. So guys, thanks for coming on board. The record